fact that the wall panel is architectural, structural, and thermal and moisture protection all in one, that's a pretty powerful assembly in what it can provide for a building.
It will outlast limestone or sandstone or any of these cut stones that they're actually cutting out of the quarry, transporting, and it's much more economical to do it out of precast as well.
When our customers looked at the precast solution for Silcotech, they felt much more comfortable that Silcotech's done their homework. They're going to be around. There's not going to be some fire event or some event that's going to affect them. They're moving their manufacturing operation to a vault. We know they'll be okay.
Silcotech was a very interesting project that had come to us. The owner originally had designed a metal panel building. They found that they were able to create a more pleasing architectural aesthetic facade over what they were considering out of metal panels. And once we get into the thermal value of the panels and the strength and durability, that pretty much sold the job at that point.
Most people just think of precast concrete as like a parking structure or some kind of gray box. They don't truly appreciate the architectural flexibility of precast concrete and also don't understand what can be done from a thermal and moisture standpoint.
One of the important parts of creating a building that looks like a traditional building with precast is working closely with a local precast contractor and working with an architect who can help you realize the ideas that you want for your building to become a reality.
Because precast is a design product, you basically figure what our value one and we can design to it. The typical wall panel system, you'll have say 3 inches of insulation and you're going to achieve between an R19 and an R21. And you're going to achieve those values because of 2 things. Number one, you have edge-to-edge continuous insulation, which you don't get in other products. And the other thing is you get to rely on the inherent benefit of precast concrete as being a thermal sink.
A conventional insulation model has 2x4s with glass insulation in the middle. Air can leak through those 2x4s. There's a lot of transfer of energy through there. If you look at a precast panel, it's tight. It's cement tight clad. So now what you have is you have a building that maintains temperature. You don't see a lot of swings back and forth. It's a very comfortable feeling.
Yeah, the insulation is really important to the sandwich wall panel. Obviously the connectors are important, but the insulation needs to be continuous and it has to have certain properties to be able to perform over time. We're encapsulating it in concrete, that's a good thing, so we're protecting it from the elements. But because the insulation is our thermal and moisture protection, it is really important. There's 2 types of insulation we use at Thermomass, and both of them don't absorb water, and both of them have very high R value that'll stand the test of time.
We teamed up with Thermomass. We've been doing more and more insulated wall panel projects with them. And as the project started to grow in numbers, we started our relationship with Thermomass had become tighter and tighter. And we've done a lot of buildings over the years with Thermomass. And we have been very pleased with their product as well as our customers.
The way a sandwich wall panel is made is you have an exterior layer of concrete, a layer of continuous insulation, and then an interior layer of concrete. The whole assembly is held together with a series of white ties or connectors. These connectors that we make at Thermomass are very high tech. They're made of elongated, chemically resistant glass so that it's non-conductive and non-corrosive, meaning that when the wall panel is up in place, you have no thermal bridges. It maintains its purchased R value.
Once the forms are constructed and the pieces are built, and the forms will be built in pieces, it'll be moved into the manufacturing floor where we have a setup crew which is responsible for setting the sides up, accurately placing the steel reinforcing, which is made by yet another crew in another department. Once they sign off and give the okay, then we have yet another crew which is responsible for the placement of the concrete. They'll have the concrete batched, delivered to the form. They'll place it, they'll screed it off, they vibrate it. After that, the concrete is then allowed to cure. It cures for somewhere between 12 and 14 hours till it gains sufficient strength to be able to be removed from the form. Typically the next day, next morning, where it's transported out to the finishing area.
The beauty of looking at the high-performance wall panels for a building is that you're going to have energy efficiency. It's also going to cut down on the amount of time it takes for the building to come together.
I've been surprised because of weather. We've had sunny days, they've been assembling. We've had snowy days, we've had icy days, we've had windy days. And all four of those days, they're out there working hard, putting this building together and just assembling the pieces like Legos.
It's only natural as an architect, if you haven't worked with precast previously, to use old stereotypes, to think that it's simple concrete panels that have no definition or character whatsoever, and that's false in today's environment.
Precast buildings are really unique in that they can look like anything because concrete is such a flexible material. When you combine the flexibility of concrete with the quality control of a precast environment, when they're making it in a facility, it's a controlled environment, they can make a brick building. They can make it look like stone, polished stone, to granite, to form liners, to make it look like limestone. There's really no limit to what they can make. So buildings that you see on the road, you might have this impression of, well, a concrete gray building. Nowadays, what precasters can do, it could look like the Taj Mahal.
If a person comes into us looking for a very unique or interesting type of look, they're the types of clients that we're fitted best with. What really separates our company from other companies is the fact that we do the unique, untypical type of product looks, textures, and shapes. Because of the nature of our product, we're able to take their idea and create it and cast it into concrete.
I think seeing a building go up so fast like that is just exciting, something you can never experience with a metal building where they start with a metal frame, insulation on top, aluminum outside. It's just not the same as seeing a precast come together. Your baby's being born.